Greetings, friends. It's Pat back with another fun and fabulous episode of Let's Talk Travel. We are so glad that you're out there. I appreciate so much those of you who show up regularly for our live broadcast, and we love those of you who come back for an instant replay. You may be picking this up off our YouTube channel or off our Facebook page, or who knows where you find it, but we're glad you're out there too. We hope that you'll stay tuned till the end this evening because I have something really, really fun. Those of you who tune in regularly know our live listeners always get a chance to get their name in the hat for our drawing. We give some cool travel related merchandise away every single week. And I have something especially cool. I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but it is something really, it's very different than what I've done before. So stay tuned. And I want to just tell you tonight, I am so excited to introduce our guest. Garfield Collins is joining us. He's the regional sales manager with one of my personal favorite go-to resorts. And welcome, Garfield. We're so glad I so appreciate you taking time to join us this
It is
evening.
my pleasure, man.
Okay. I've just been so happy to get further acquainted with Garfield. We ran into each other at the travel forum out in Las
Yeah.
Vegas a few weeks ago, and he has so much to share about couples resorts. So stay tuned. You're going to enjoy getting to know Garfield. Um, anyway, I thought we'd just start off. We always like to let our viewers just get acquainted with you a little bit, Garfield. If you want
Mhm.
to just share a little bit about your background, how you made your way into travel and the couples resorts.
Well, I started my career when I was 19 years old, actually, quite accidentally. I was a 19-year-old kid. I was not employed. I was at home in Mandeville, Jamaica, and I was reading the Sunday paper, and there was an ad for a position that I said, well, I'm qualified for it. I don't know what it is, but I'm qualified for it. So on a whim, I applied. And then I was hired the same day as I went for my interview. And at that time, it was the Swept Away Resort in Negril. Now, that was before we added the couples brand to it. It was just
Mhm.
Swept Away, which was a fitness resort. So that was in 19, and I'm going to date myself here. That was 1996.
Wow.
And that's how my journey into travel and entertainment and everything began.
So you started right where I mean, you're still with the same. This is kind of unusual that you got your foot in the door with the same
Uh-huh.
provider that you are still with.
Yes, but and well, it's not really the case because I started with Swept Away, and then I left. I came to the USA for college and so on. Then I went back home to Jamaica, and I went back to Couples. At that time, we were opening the brand new Couples Negril, and
Uh-huh.
I was a part of the management team at that resort when we opened. But then there was another brand. I don't know if you remember back in the day, we had the Super Clubs brand.
Nope, not I don't remember that one. I don't
Well,
go back far enough in the travel industry to know
industry.
that one.
Well, Super Clubs goes back then, but it's still the Issa family, just another branch of it. And I went to join their management team over in Ocho Rios, and I stayed with them for, I would say, going on 12 years.
Wow.
And then when I left that brand in 2007, I think 2007, then I left travel completely. I needed a break, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try something else. So there I jetted off to New York with my family. And, I went into radio and advertising in New York City. And I did that for almost 5, 6 years. And then one day I was at home and my phone rang. And it was a coworker that I had actually worked with years before. And he called me and he said, hey, we have a position in Georgia and we're looking for someone. And, so at that time, honestly, I was not interested in returning to travel at that time. And he said, do you know anyone you could recommend? And so I recommended a few persons and so on for that position. A few weeks went by. They called me back again and said, we really want you. So, and that is how I was convinced to rejoin the travel industry in 2013.
Okay. You kind of did what I'm always telling young people. I got into travel, Garfield. I was ancient. Into it. I really was. This was 15 years ago. And
Right,
I've been in law offices for years and
right.
fully expected to be there forever. And opportunity opened the door, and so here I am today. But I'm always telling young people, if you don't know what career path, get your education and then get
Yep,
a foot in the door with a travel,
exactly.
so, resort chains or cruise line or something, because you will be able to see the world and,
Yes, you
and
sure
get
do.
paid to do it, for goodness
Yes.
sake.
You
It's
get
great.
to travel the entire globe and it opens up your eyes and your mind to the possibilities of what's out there.
It really does.
Yes.
I mean, it's the one thing that actually uh, gives back a lot more than what it costs you.
Oh, yes. Those experiences you'll never, they're worth more than money. Is your
Absolutely.
lifelong experiences. Yes.
Absolutely. Now, Garfield, Couples is a brand and it
Yeah.
falls within the broad category of all inclusive resorts.
Mhm.
Uh, but before we go into delving into the Couples brand specifically, could you tell us just a bit why a Caribbean all inclusive vacation is a great choice for one of our viewers, their next vacation? Why an all inclusive?
Well, the number one thing is that you always look at the value that you're getting. It's a one-stop shop. Everything is included. I mean, your meals, your drinks, your activities, all of that. And it when you work out the cost versus what you would pay if you stay at an EP might at first come up cheaper,
Hmm.
right? But
Right.
keep in mind you're only paying for a room and nothing else,
That's
right? By the time you add in everything else that you're going to need on your vacation, you would have seen that it would have been smart for you to have gone with an AI, as we say, all-inclusive resort. So,
Absolutely. I can't believe
yes.
my doorbell is ringing.
Well,
Wouldn't
you do
this
know we
go-
have Murphy's Law.
it is always the case. Uh,
Yes.
and why, with the all inclusive said, why Jamaica?
And this, what I'm about to say, is not because I'm from Jamaica or not because I am Jamaican or so on, or because I favor Jamaica or so. Jamaica is an island that's just unique. It is different from all the other islands. I don't know. We have been trying to figure it out as Jamaicans for years. What sets us apart from the other islands? I mean, our culture. Our culture evolved over centuries of, different cultures coming into the island. The Indians, the Chinese, the Africans, everybody came in and blended. And out popped this very unique, very flavorful thing that we call the Jamaican culture. From our food to our music to just the way the people are, it's not replicated on any other island. Anyone who goes to Jamaica will tell you they will return.
They know that they're in some place
Yes,
very special for
yes.
sure. Uh, Now, getting into the nitty gritty, the good
Uh-huh.
stuff here, we're
Yes.
going to talk about your brand,
Uh-huh.
specifically Couples Resorts. Uh, I I would suspect that possibly the name reflects a bit about your target market. Would that
Well,
be the case?
yes. Well, a little bit of a history on couples resorts. The very first all-inclusive to ever open its doors in Jamaica was a couples. Now, at that time, it wasn't called couples. The very first all-inclusive resort in Jamaica is the Tower Isle Hotel, which we now know as Couples Tower Isle. It was opened by the Issa family, and we're talking almost 60 years ago. And the
Wow,
brand is still going strong, and it is still owned by the same family. And we now have four resorts covering Jamaica.
that is great and
Yeah.
beautiful resorts.
Oh,
They
yes.
are. I would just say it, folks. I book couples with some frequency. They're one of my go tos when I have people who are looking for a great getaway, and they just I always get rave reviews. People come back and they are absolutely thrilled with their experience. Now,
Mhm.
let's just be honest. There are dozens, I guess maybe even hundreds of all-inclusive resorts scattered around Jamaica.
Yes.
What is it that differentiates the couples brand from some of the other all-inclusives on the island?
The number one thing is that once you enter a couple's resource, once you enter our properties, you know you're in Jamaica. There are resorts out there that you could take them and drop them anywhere and you wouldn't know the difference. But we set ourselves apart in that we are Jamaican owned. So our meals will reflect the flavors of Jamaica. Our entertainment will reflect Jamaican culture. Our staffing that you find on site will be fully Jamaican so that you are immersed in what is truly Jamaican. Even the design of our resorts will reflect that.
Okay, and is this like a typical design for your resorts?
Yes and no. This
Okay.
is couples Negril that we're looking at and so on.
Mhm.
What sets us apart as well is that we're not cookie cutter. Each property that you go to is unique. It's different. The design is different. The feel is different. Even though the inclusions remain the same. If you stay at Couples Tower Isle and you take a 5 minutes drive down the road to Couples Sans Souci, the energy, the vibe, the decor, everything is different, and so
So
you
pe
get a difference in flavors.
so people, if they've been to one of your resorts,
Uh-huh.
they know what kind of experience they're going to have,
Yes.
but they can come back and go to a different location,
Yes.
and it's not going to be like
Not the
same
same.
song, second verse.
No, it's not.
It's going to be a different experience. Well, that's very
Yes.
cool because people can go and experience one resort location. And
Uh-huh.
where are they located? Are they spread out? You said these two are close together. Are they
Well,
all?
we have four. There are two of them located in Ocherios. Couples Tower Isle, which is our flagship resort, and
Mhm.
Couples Sans Souci. They're just 5 minutes apart drive-wise. And that's on the north side of the island in Ocherios. Then you go over to Negril, which is on the western side. And then you have Couples Swept Away and you have Couples Negril, both located in Negril. But what is important to point out is that Couples Negril sits on Bloody Bay Beach, which is just as you're entering Negril. It's a semi private beach. And then just 5 miles down the road, you have Couples Swept Away, and that sits on the world famous 7 Mile Beach in Negril as well.
I think that's probably the resort that I've booked most frequently is
Uh-huh.
Swept Away.
It
And
is
boy,
unique.
you know, there's a certain brand that
Mhm.
everybody knows about. They have some locations on Jamaica as well,
Of course.
but you know, you don't have to go to that particular brand.
No,
Everybody
you don't.
knows that, but there are
Jamaica is so much more.
yes, there are
Yeah.
other, and they have yeah that brand has a wonderful
Yes.
experience,
Yeah.
but you guys do, and uh, more of a genuine, authentic Jamaican experience
Yes.
included, and I must say at a much more affordable price point.
Yes.
Let's
Yeah,
just get
we
it out.
don't believe that you need to break the bank to visit Jamaica and to experience 4 and 5 star service and to have excursions included in your stay. It can be done, and we try to do it. It's not overly expensive. It is within a budget that somebody can say, "Whoo, I didn't have to work 2 years to pay for that."
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly, and there are some brands that really, I mean, when you book those, they can take your breath away,
yeah.
but I think that the value my clients have always been thrilled with the value that they've experienced at the couples resorts, and all that's included. They've done some activities and things. What are some examples of some of the activities that might surprise people?
All right. If you're staying at Couples Tower Isle or Couples Sans Souci, and you want to go to Duns River at another resort, you would have to pay a significant amount of money in transfers and entrance fee to go there. If you're staying at any of the couples resorts in Ocherius, you don't have to pay a penny extra because it is already included in your package, as well with transfers and entrance to the park as well. If you're staying at our resorts and you want to take part in our sunset catamaran cruise, at another resort, it will cost you up to $150 per person. At couples resorts, it is already paid for, it is already included in your stay. All you have to do is book it at the guest relations desk. We want you to experience Jamaica. So while you're staying at our resorts, if you want to go downtown to the duty free areas to shop and everything, we will provide the transportation for you and the driver that takes the group down to the town so you can see and experience a bit of Jamaica outside of the all inclusive resorts and so on. So there are a myriad of things that are included in our product that the others just don't.
That is such great value. And folks,
Yes.
listen, because this all rolls into the all inclusive and so inclusive at couples. And while other resort chains will tell you it's all inclusive, there's a lot of extras
There's a
included.
difference.
There is a difference. So
Yeah,
couple
it's like I tell people there are all inclusives and then there are all inclusives.
very good,
Yeah.
very good. Now, the target client for a resort stay of couples, I mean, we know it's couples, but what key
Yes.
characteristics might help people identify that this would be a great choice for their stay?
All right. Well, you first of all, you have to be a minimum 18 years to stay at any of our resorts. If you're looking for a very party, loud music, noisy atmosphere, then we are not for you. We are more laid back. You will have entertainment, you will have fun, and you will enjoy it immensely. But we are not the 24-hour party scene. We are for that couple who's in love and just want to escape by themselves, spend some quality time on the beach, or just be alone in their suite or in one of our villas. They want to enjoy the fine dining restaurants while still enjoying real, authentic reggae music on our beach
Mhm.
or in our nightly entertainment packages, where you can still go to the Jamaican grill and get an authentic jerk chicken and Jamaican beef patty, or you can still go to our five-star restaurant in the Eight Rivers or Casanova in your evening gown and enjoy a perfect evening. So it's for somebody who wants to do whatever it is that they want to do. We are very accommodating, very flexible, and you'll be surprised the myriad of clients, the wide swing that it takes for those who stay at our resorts.
Now, that is excellent. So all ages, you can have
Yes.
young romantic
Oh,
couples in their
yes.
20s, and you could have people of my vintage,
Of
perhaps.
course, of course. And surprisingly, here's how it breaks. It depends on the season as well. For instance, in the summer months and the fall months, we find that we get a bit of a younger clientele. And then in the winter months, we do get our clientele that will start at 50s, 60s, and up, who just want to get away from the cold of the United States or Canada and come down to Jamaica and bask in the beach. So trust me, it depends on the season that you're there, the month you're there, the clientele varies.
That's great. Now, uh, Garfield, what about the accommodations at your resorts?
Now, each resort is different. As
Mhm.
you may know, we just completed a $12 million renovation at Couple Sans Souci, and we updated the rooms on that one. So that, yeah, you're looking at one of the suites at Sans Souci right now. Our designs will always be very minimalistic, very clean in appearance and so on, while still giving you that true Caribbean feel. So yes, this is one of our ocean suites at Sans Souci. We also have our design at Tower Isle is a bit different. You're going to see colors, you're going to see pastels. It's true Jamaica. At Toral, it takes you back to old Jamaica, to the 60s and the 70s, the vibe at that resort. And yet you walk into the lobby and you will feel like you're in a bohemian villa, because that is the way that the designers did it. And it's very similar to Couples Negril. Bohemian in its design, but still giving you all the beachy vibes right there in Negril. Swept Away is the most unique when it comes to the design and the furnishings. If you've ever been there, then you know we are very much into nature. So even though the resort sits directly on the beach, you will feel as if you're in the Amazon jungle.
Ah,
You will have palm trees, mango trees, banana trees. The fauna and flora of Jamaica is everywhere around you. Your rooms, the louvers open up so you can let nature in. You can see the sunlight streaming into your suite and so on. You can sit on the hammock on your veranda and just hear the birds chirping away. And yet you're just like 2 minutes walk away from the beach right there, Nigra.
You just might make me want to go pack my bags, Garfield.
And that, I guess what? That is where I'm from. That's where I live. So, come on down.
That is great. Now, most of our people
Right.
uh, who watch us regularly are going to know this one's coming. What about the food at your resorts?
Well, I am getting to a certain age, and it's not as easy for me to drop weight as I used to. And every time I go home to Jamaica, yeah, I gain weight. Here's what is great about couples resorts. You will have the fine dining and all the fine it is that you will find in an all inclusive, but you will also find real, authentic Jamaican meals every single day. Jerk chicken, beef patties, a good old Jamaican pumpkin soup, that kind of thing. So, whatever it is that you want, whether it's Jamaican or Asian, or you want something that's American or European, or if there's a myriad of dining options. Like at Sweptaway, you have 9 dining options just to choose from. So I tell the clients, if you're staying in Sans Souci or Tower Isle, where we have room service throughout the day, and you don't want to leave your suite to go down to any of the restaurants, the dining experience will be the same as if you're in your suite versus if you get dressed up and go downstairs and sit into one of the restaurants.
Wow, that
Yes,
that is way cool. Well, I these images just make my mouth water. It looks
we
absolutely
try.
amazing. Now, destination weddings,
Yeah,
they are, let's say, a thing these
yes.
days.
Uh-huh.
Uh, is a couples resort, is it a good choice for a bride looking to plan a wedding in the Caribbean?
Well, it's all in our name, isn't it? Couples. Well, remember, because we are the first all-inclusive in Jamaica, we are the first also to introduce free weddings. So if you're staying a minimum 3 nights at any of our resorts, you can get married in Jamaica. Of course, the paperwork and all the legalities must be done before your arrival, because there's a fee that has to be paid to the government to ensure that the legalities
Isn't
are done
there
correctly.
always a fee to
Yeah,
the
there's always a fee to the government. And so the included wedding package, it's in a beautiful setting, right on the beach or the garden, whatever the bride or groom chooses. They can make it as simple or as opulent as they want it to be. Now, we do have upgraded packages that you can choose from as well. And one I'd like to highlight is our island wedding that takes place at Couples Tower Isle. That resort is world famous for its offshore island. And that
Mhm.
offshore island also doubles as a wedding chapel when we have island weddings. And for just under $5,000, you and 40 of your guests can be jetted on our jet boats over to the island. You can have a beautiful ceremony in the middle of the ocean. And pictures don't even do it justice. You literally have to go on the island to see how amazing it is. And you can get married right there in Jamaica in the middle of the island. You're in Jamaica, yet you're offshore in Jamaica on your own private island. And it's an amazing experience. But I'm sure that through your agency, you can provide them with all the packages and updates as you get them.
Absolutely, and you guys, I'm
Correct.
sure, have the wedding coordinator to
Oh,
help make
yes.
sure everything goes perfectly and
Perfect.
to the bride and groom
Yes.
specifications, from the simple wedding, of just two people that just wanna get married quietly to,
Hmm.
like you said, 40 guests, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, this is so cool.
We can customize anything you want. Any idea you have. It's like I tell my friends in the travel industry, I say, hey, if you have a crazy idea, call me with it. You never know. I'll find a way to make it work.
I love it. I
Yes.
love it. Uh, I want to ask you about travel has been absolutely booming to say the least.
Hmm.
It has been just crazy since the pandemic has finally let up. Do you guys have decent space for left for this year?
We do have space, but here is one thing that came out of the pandemic. I find that clients, customers are not as price sensitive as they were before the pandemic. Our highest category suites actually sell out before the lower categories. Persons were cooped up, locked up for such a long time that they were like, you know what? I'm going to spend this money and I'm going to get the best that I want and just forget about it. And right now, we have persons who are calling for the villas, the spa villas at Tara Royal. They are booked up for months. The penthouses at Sans Souci, if you don't book them 2 to 3 months in advance or longer, forget about it. And the same thing in Negril and Swept as well. The premier ocean rooms at Swept that sits right there on the beach. Right now, we have a waiting list up to 8 months just to get into one.
Wow. And
Yes,
Garfield, I have noticed that. I have noticed that people are definitely booking higher end.
yes.
I guess I don't know if it's part of the revenge travel thing that they talk about. It's a real
Uh-huh.
thing,
Yeah.
or what it is. But I do know that people are traveling. They're taking longer trips.
Yes,
They are booking the more upscale accommodations.
they are.
But folks, it's absolutely, this is across the board. Those that book early are
Hmm.
going to get the best choice of the
Yes,
accommodation. So
that is true.
even into 2024, if you know you're going to need a vacation, it's not too early to book
To book
those.
it. That is
Yeah,
true.
we can find last minute space as well, but
Oh, yes.
yeah, you're going to have the better choice of accommodations, more choices.
Yeah, if you book early, because if you are going last minute, chances are you're the type of accommodation you're going to find at each resort may be a lower room category. Or if there's a high room category left, it's going to be slim pickings.
Right,
Yes.
exactly. And I have found that in booking some people, I haven't been able always to get them their preferred accommodations, and
Yes.
looking at date after date after date,
Right.
they're
Mm-hmm.
just sold out. So
Yes.
just a word to the wise folks, don't wait till the last minute.
Minute.
If you're a last minute traveler, we'll find some place for you.
Oh yeah, we'll find something, but hey.
Yeah. Your choices may be much more limited. Just to sum things up, Garfield, I so appreciate your taking this afternoon and joining us. But could you just kind of, in summary, give us 3 reasons for our listeners uh, to book a couples resort getaway?
All right. The one thing I can guarantee you is that if you want to experience Jamaica, real Jamaican cuisine, real Jamaican vacation, and so on, then that's what we specialize in. If you want to feel the culture, the vibe of the people, the amenities of the resorts, and just be on a wonderful island, of course, trust me. And I guarantee you, you will return. And that's a sure sign that you had fun. Our resorts have the highest percentage of repeaters on the entire island. Yes,
And
we have clients who've been to our resorts over 200 times.
this kind of thing speaks volumes because bottom line is, would you do it again? And
Yes.
yet, obviously, that goes far.
Well, there are those who have referred to some of our clients as a cult because they keep coming back.
I I love it. I love
Yes.
it. And
Yeah.
folks, I just want to remind you that we handle uh all kinds of vacations to couples resorts. We love to book couples. You can contact me. You see my contact information going across on the banner here. But typically, when we book you at couples resorts, we're going to include your round trip flights, your ground transfers, your stay at the resort.
Yes.
Insurance in the event you have to cancel for some reason, we're going to make sure that you are covered in the unlikely, but sometimes things happen event. It just has happened. You can book with a modest deposit, and we're happy to even take payments over time. If that works for you, we can remit those payments uh, if that helps with your budgeting for your trip.
Right.
Garfield, thank you again for joining us this evening.
Anytime,
Uh,
Pat.
I absolutely love the experience at couples that you have talked all about.
Mhm.
Folks, we got a giveaway. And as I said, we're doing something very different tonight. And I'm giving away a sarong. Now, these are very popular right now. You can use them
Mhm.
as a quick wrap. If you're on your flight and it's cold, you just pull it out and put it on. If you're touring around somewhere and you go into a religious site and they want you to have your arms or head covered, you can pull that out. And beach cover up. They are just so versatile. And even the guys are wearing these sometimes. So it's not just for the ladies. And I'm going to give away, if you're listening live, listeners only this evening, I want you to just type in the comment section, couples resorts. And with that, all of our live listeners who enter will be in the running for that giveaway. So, Garfield, thank you again. We're so glad to have you on board.
Anytime.
Okay, it's a
My
pleasure.
pleasure.
And I so appreciate it. Bye, everybody. Plan to join us again next week for our next episode of Let's Talk Travel. See you then.